Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Talk in English. It is so good to have you here with us. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Daniel. Hello, everybody. We are back in the studio. The coffee is brewing, and we are ready to dive into a new topic. And honestly, Sophia, today's topic is one that I think is close to everyone's heart.
It really is. In our last series, we talked about movies, which is a great way to bond with strangers. But today, we are going deeper. We are talking about something that is literally part of your identity. We're talking about hometowns.
Hometowns. The place where you grew up, the place that made you who you are. It sounds like such a simple topic, right?
You would think so. But actually, it starts with a question that can be surprisingly complicated. Daniel, let me ask you, what is the one question you hear every single time you meet someone new?
Oh, that's easy. It's the granddaddy of all icebreakers. After what's your name, it is always, where are you from?
Exactly. Where are you from? It is the universal question. Whether you are at a business conference, a dinner party, or just chatting with a taxi driver, it always comes up.
It's unavoidable. And on the surface, it seems like a simple geography question. They just want a name on a map. But for a lot of people in the modern world, answering that question is actually kind of a nightmare.
It really is. It's the modern nomad problem. I have a friend who freezes every time someone asks her that.
Why? Because she moved around a lot?
Exactly. She was born in Brazil, but she moved to Canada when she was 3. Then she went to high school in the UK, and now she works in Japan. So when someone asks, where are you from? She has a panic attack. She thinks, do they mean where was I born? Where's my passport from? Or where do my parents live?
That is a classic dilemma. It's the difference between your birthplace and your hometown.
Right. And I think that's a distinction we need to make right at the beginning. Your birthplace is just a hospital, but your hometown? That's different.
I agree completely. To me, a hometown isn't just a coordinate on a GPS. It's the place where your roots are.
Roots. I love that word. It implies stability, history, connection.
Exactly. It's the place that shaped your personality. It's where you went to school, where you learned to ride a bike, where you had your first heartbreak. It's the backdrop of your life story.
That is such a poetic way to put it, Daniel. It's the backdrop. And I think that's why this topic can be so emotional. Because when we talk about our hometowns, we aren't just describing buildings and streets. We are describing our childhoods. We're talking about nostalgia.
And sometimes we are talking about why we left.
Ooh, that's the other side of the coin, isn't it? Not everyone has a rosy, romantic view of their hometown.
Definitely not. For some people, the hometown is a place of comfort and safety. For others, it's a place they couldn't wait to escape. It felt too small, too limiting.
Escaping the small town. That is a classic movie trope. But even if you left, and even if you never want to live there again, it's still part of you. You can't erase it.
No, you can't. It's in your accent, it's in the food you crave, it's in the way you interact with neighbors. You carry your hometown with you.
So that is what we want to explore in this series. We want to help you answer that ultimate question, where are you from, with more than just a name.
Right, because usually the conversation goes like this. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Manchester. Oh, cool. Is it nice?
Yeah, it's nice.
And scene. End of conversation.
That is painful. It's nice. That tells me absolutely nothing.
It's a wasted opportunity. We want to give you the tools to paint a picture. We want you to be able to describe the atmosphere, the geography, the people, and even the changes that have happened over the years.
We want you to be able to say, it's a bustling coastal city with amazing seafood, or it's a sleepy little village where everyone knows everyone.
See, those are already so much better than it's nice.
Exactly. And we'll also talk about the tension between the big city and the small town, because I feel like that is a huge divide in how people see the world.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a city boy at heart, but I know you have a soft spot for the quieter places, Sophia.
I do. I love the hustle and bustle, but sometimes I just miss the green fields and the fresh air.
Well, we are going to get into all of that. We'll talk about the pros and cons, the love-hate relationship we have with home, and how to explain exactly where your town is, even if nobody has ever heard of it.
That is a crucial skill. It's in the middle of nowhere is a valid description.
It is. So whether you still live in the house you were born in or you are thousands of miles away from your roots, stay tuned. We are going to take a trip down memory lane.
Let's get started.
So, Daniel, we've established that asking, "Where are you from?" is the ultimate icebreaker. But I think the answer usually splits people into two very distinct tribes.
Tribes? That sounds serious.
It is serious. You have the city mouse and the country mouse. You have the people who thrive on noise and neon lights, and the people who need crickets and silence. So I have to ask, which tribe do you belong to?
Oh, that is an easy one for me. I am a city mouse through and through. I was born in the city, raised in the city, and I think if you put me in a forest for more than 2 days, I would probably panic.
You would get silent sickness.
Exactly. I need the background noise. I grew up in a place that was basically a concrete jungle. High-rise buildings, constant traffic, sirens wailing at night. To me, that is the sound of home. It's comforting.
See, that is wild to me. To me, that sounds like stress. But I guess the biggest advantage of the city is the convenience, right?
Absolutely. It's the immediacy of everything. Growing up, I could walk out of my apartment at 11 p.m. and buy a pint of milk, or order Thai food, or catch a bus to anywhere. Everything was at my fingertips.
That is the upside, the city that never sleeps. But Daniel, let's be honest, what is the downside? Because I've lived in big cities too, and sometimes they can feel oddly lonely.
That is the paradox of the city, isn't it? You are surrounded by millions of people. You are physically crushed against them on the subway, but you don't actually know any of them at all.
Exactly. It's that feeling of anonymity.
Right. Anonymity. On one hand, it's freeing. I can walk down the street wearing a clown costume and nobody cares. Nobody judges me because nobody knows me. But on the other hand, it can be very cold. I lived in my last apartment for 3 years, and I think I spoke to my next-door neighbor exactly twice.
Twice in 3 years? That is crazy.
And one of those times was because he accidentally took my mail. We just nodded in the hallway. That was the extent of our relationship.
See, that is the complete opposite of where I grew up. I'm from a small town. It wasn't tiny, but it was definitely what you would call regional.
So more soil than concrete.
Definitely. More trees, more backyards, and a much slower pace of life.
Pace of life. That's a great phrase. The city is fast-paced, the country is slow-paced.
Exactly. In my hometown, nobody is rushing. If you go to the grocery store, you don't just buy your milk and leave. You stop and talk to the cashier because you went to high school with her cousin, and then you run into your old teacher in the parking lot. A 5-minute trip takes 45 minutes.
To me, that sounds like a nightmare. I just want my milk.
To you, it's inefficient. To us, it's a sense of community. It's close-knit.
Close-knit. That means the threads of the fabric are tied tightly together. Everyone is connected.
Yes, there is a safety in that. If my car broke down on the side of the road, 3 people would pull over to help me before I could even call a tow truck. People look out for each other. You never feel invisible.
That sounds lovely, but I sense a but coming.
Oh, there is a huge but. The downside of everyone knows everyone is everyone knows everyone.
Ah, the gossip mill.
The rumor mill is faster than the internet. If you do something embarrassing on Friday night, the entire town knows about it by Saturday morning breakfast.
So there is zero privacy.
None. Everyone is in your business. We have a word for that, nosy.
Nosy neighbors. People who stick their nose where it doesn't belong.
Exactly. Mrs. Higgins down the street is very nosy. She watches everyone from her window. So you trade privacy for community. In the city, you have total privacy, but you might have zero community.
That is a perfect summary of the trade-off. Urban versus rural.
And I think that's why describing your hometown is so interesting. It's not just about saying it's a city or it's a village. It's about explaining that lifestyle.
Right, because not all cities are cold, and not all small towns are friendly. I've been to small towns that felt very unwelcoming to outsiders.
That's true. We call that insular. Like an island. They don't like new people.
And I've been to big city neighborhoods that felt like little villages, where everyone knew each other at the local coffee shop, so it's complex.
It is. And that's why when someone asks you, what's your hometown like, saying it's nice is such a crime.
It's a linguistic crime. You are leaving all this rich detail on the table. You could be talking about the nosy neighbors, or the late-night sushi, or the green fields.
So we need to fix that. We need to move past the generic adjectives and get into the specifics.
We need to help you build a 3D model of your hometown in the listener's mind.
Exactly. So let's talk about how to do that. How do we move past it's nice and it's big?
Let's break it down.
Okay, Daniel. So we know that the city mouse and the country mouse have very different lives. But here's the problem I see all the time with my students, and honestly, even with my friends.
What's the problem?
When I ask them, so what is your hometown like? They almost always give me the same 3 words.
Let me guess. It is nice.
Yes, it is nice. Or if they are feeling really descriptive, it is beautiful. Or maybe it is famous for apples.
Famous for apples. I've heard that one. And listen, there is nothing wrong with being polite. But from a conversation perspective, that is a disaster.
It's a total dead end. If you tell me it is nice, what am I supposed to say next? That's nice? It gives me nothing to work with. There are no hooks.
Exactly. It's the conversation killer again, just like with movies. We want to help you paint a picture so vivid that the other person feels like they are walking down the street with you.
Right. We want texture. We want depth.
So to do that, we have developed a 4-part framework for this episode. If you hit these 4 points, you will never give a boring answer again.
I love a good framework. What is the first pillar?
The first one is location and geography, but not just saying it's in the South. We need to teach you how to use reference points so that even if the person has no map in their head, they know where you are.
That is so important, especially if you come from a tiny town that nobody knows. You need to be able to say, it's a stone's throw from London, or it's deep in the mountains.
Exactly. The second pillar is atmosphere and vibe. This is where we move past nice. Is it bustling? Is it sleepy? Is it industrial? We need those specific adjectives.
And then comes my favorite part, the third pillar, the pros and cons.
The love-hate relationship.
Yes, because let's be honest, no place is perfect. Real conversations happen when you admit the flaws. It's a beautiful place to visit, but it's a bit boring to live in. That is an interesting sentence.
It adds credibility. It shows you are being honest. And finally, the fourth pillar, which I think is the most advanced one, changes and nostalgia.
Ooh, this is the emotional stuff. It's not what it used to be.
Right. Towns change. Maybe it's become gentrified and expensive. Maybe it's become empty because young people are leaving. Talking about how your hometown has evolved since you were a kid is a really deep way to connect with someone.
It really is. That's where the roots conversation happens. So we have location, vibe, pros and cons, and changes.
That's the roadmap. If you can cover those 4 bases, you are golden.
So let's start at the very beginning. Before we can complain about the traffic or cry about the old days, we have to tell people where we actually are.
Geography time. Let's get the map out.
All right, let's start with the basics. Geography. Now, Daniel, if you are from London or New York or Tokyo, this part is easy. You say the name and everyone nods.
Exactly. You have name recognition. You say, I'm from Paris, and people immediately have an image in their head. They picture the Eiffel Tower and croissants.
But for the rest of us, the people from the small towns, the suburbs, the places that aren't on the tourist maps, it's a struggle. You say the name of your town and you just get a blank stare.
The confused nod. I know it well. They look at you politely, but you can tell they have absolutely no idea where that is.
So we need a strategy. We need to help them find us on their mental map. And simply saying, it's in the north or it's in the south usually isn't enough.
No, that's too vague. The best strategy here is what I call using anchors. You need to anchor your small town to a big, famous place that they do know.
Like a satellite orbiting a planet.
Exactly. So instead of just saying, I'm from Luton, you say, it's about 30 miles north of London. Or it's about an hour's drive from Manchester.
An hour's drive. That is such a useful phrase. People understand time better than they understand miles or kilometers. It's 2 hours west of Chicago. Boom, I know exactly where you are.
Right. And another great idiom for being close to a major city is, it's a stone's throw from.
A stone's throw from. I love that one. It literally means you could throw a stone and hit it. It implies it's very, very close.
I'm from a little village that is a stone's throw from Oxford. It sounds quaint, doesn't it? But once you've established the location relative to a city, you should also describe the landscape. Is it by the water? Is it in the mountains?
This really helps set the mood. For example, if you say, it's a coastal town, I immediately smell the salt air. I picture beaches, maybe some seafood restaurants.
Coastal is a great adjective. It implies a specific lifestyle. Maybe it's a bit touristy in the summer. The opposite of that would be inland.
Inland. That just means not near the sea. But that can sound a bit boring, can't it? It's an inland city.
It can. So you might want to be more specific. You could say it's a mountainous region, or it's in a valley.
Or if you live right on the edge of the country, you live in a border town.
Ah, border towns are fascinating. It's a border town near Mexico, or it's right on the border of France and Germany. That implies a mix of cultures, maybe a mix of languages. It makes your hometown sound exotic and interesting.
Definitely. But Daniel, what if your hometown isn't near a beach, isn't near a mountain, and isn't near a big city? What if it is just far away from everything?
Ah, the isolated places. We have a very famous phrase for this. We say, it's in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere. It sounds kind of negative, but a lot of people use it affectionately.
They do. It implies it's rural, quiet, maybe surrounded by cornfields or forests. I grew up in a tiny farm town in the middle of nowhere.
We also have a funny idiom for that. It's off the beaten track.
Off the beaten track. That sounds more like a travel recommendation. It means tourists don't usually go there. It's hidden, it's secluded.
So you can frame it positively. Instead of saying, it's boring and far away, you say, it's really off the beaten track. It's very peaceful.
Exactly. It's all about the spin. And sometimes you need to describe the type of settlement. Is it a commuter town?
Oh, that's a good one. A commuter town. That means most people live there, but they travel or commute into the big city for work every day.
Right. So it might be very quiet during the day because everyone is at work. In the US, they often call these bedroom communities. You just sleep there.
That's a bit sad, isn't it? A bedroom community. But it's very descriptive. So let's combine these. I could say, I'm from a small coastal town. It's about an hour south of Sydney. It's a bit off the beaten track, so it's quiet in the winter.
That is perfect. In 3 sentences, I know where it is, I know the climate, and I know the vibe. I can visualize it.
Or, I'm from a border town in the north. It's quite mountainous, and it's literally a stone's throw from the Canadian border.
See? That is so much richer than I'm from the north. You are giving the listener hooks to ask more questions. Oh, do you go skiing in the mountains? Do you cross the border often?
Exactly. You are inviting conversation.
So, once you have planted the flag on the map and told us where it is, the next logical question is, what does it feel like to be there?
The vibe. Is it energetic? Is it sleepy? Is it dangerous?
Let's talk about how to describe the atmosphere.
Okay, so we've established the geography. We know where it is. But now we need to talk about what it feels like. We need to capture the personality of the town.
Exactly. Because 2 towns can be right next to each other and have completely different vibes. One might be exciting and loud, and the other might be, well, dead.
Dead is a strong word, Daniel. But yes, we want to move past the generic, it's nice, or it's pretty. We want to give our listeners a menu of adjectives so they can give their hometown a specific flavor.
Let's start with the high-energy places. If you come from a big city or a town that has a lot going on, you want words that convey movement.
My favorite word for this is bustling.
Bustling. It sounds like what it is. It means full of activity, busy, maybe a little noisy. You often hear the phrase, the hustle and bustle.
Yes, I miss the hustle and bustle of the city. You would describe a market as bustling or a city center during rush hour. It implies energy.
A similar word, but maybe a bit more positive and artistic, is vibrant.
Vibrant. That makes me think of color.
Exactly. A vibrant city usually has a good nightlife, lots of culture, maybe good street food. It feels alive. If you say, my hometown has a vibrant music scene, that sounds amazing.
But the flip side of that energy is that it can be overwhelming, so you might also say it is crowded or chaotic.
Right. Crowded is the negative cousin of bustling. If you say, it's a bit too crowded for me, you're saying there are too many people and no personal space.
Okay, so that's the city. Now let's go to the other end of the spectrum. My turf, the small towns.
The quiet places. What is the best word for a small town that is attractive and charming?
The golden word is quaint. Quaint.
Quaint. It's such a specific English word. It doesn't just mean small. It means attractively old-fashioned.
Yes, think of cobblestone streets, old cottages, flower boxes in the windows. It feels cozy and historical. You'd say it's a quaint little village in the countryside.
And if it has beautiful views, maybe mountains or a lake, you would say it is scenic.
Scenic. It's like a scene in a painting. It's a very scenic drive along the coast.
We also use the word historic a lot, especially in Europe or parts of Asia. It's a historic town with an old castle. That immediately gives it some weight and dignity.
But Daniel, small towns aren't always quaint and scenic. Sometimes nothing happens.
Right. Sometimes they are just quiet, and the word we use for that is sleepy.
A sleepy town. Now this can be good or bad, right?
It depends on your tone. If you say, I love it, it's a sleepy little beach town, that sounds relaxing. It sounds peaceful.
But if you roll your eyes and say, ugh, it's a sleepy town, you mean it's boring. You mean the shops close at 5 p.m. and there is no nightlife.
Exactly. It's a polite way of saying boring.
Now, we have to be honest here. Not every hometown is scenic or vibrant. Some places are gritty.
That's true. I grew up near some areas that were very industrial.
Industrial. That means factories, warehouses, maybe a lot of gray concrete. It's not necessarily pretty, but it has a strong character.
Right. You might say, it's an industrial town, so it's not very green, but the people are hardworking. Or if a place has seen better days, maybe the factory's closed down, we might call it rundown.
Rundown. That's a bit harsh. It means the buildings need repair. It looks a bit neglected.
It is harsh, but sometimes it's the truth. You can soften it by saying it's a bit rough around the edges.
Rough around the edges. I like that. It implies it has a good heart, even if it looks a bit messy.
And finally, there is a specific vibe that a lot of people hate. What if your hometown is beautiful, but it's ruined by too many visitors?
Then it is touristy.
Touristy. This is almost always negative. It means expensive souvenir shops, overpriced restaurants, and no local culture left.
It used to be a quaint fishing village, but now it's totally touristy. That implies it has lost its soul.
Exactly. So look at the range we have here. Instead of it's nice, you can say it's a bustling historic city. It's a sleepy scenic town. It's a bit industrial and rough around the edges.
Those descriptions have so much more flavor. They tell a story.
And that story naturally leads to the next question. Because even if a place is scenic, you might hate living there. And even if a place is crowded, you might love it.
It's the love-hate relationship, the pros and the cons.
Exactly. Let's talk about how to balance the good and the bad without sounding like you're just complaining.
So, we have the location and we have the vibe. But Daniel, this next part is where the conversation gets real. Because usually when people talk about their hometowns honestly, it's not just a love letter. It's complicated.
It is. It's a relationship status. It's complicated. Most of us have a love-hate relationship with where we grew up. We love certain parts of it, but other parts drive us crazy.
Exactly. And if you want to sound authentic in English, you need to be able to express that balance. You don't want to just complain, but you don't want to sound like a travel brochure either.
So let's look at the most common structure for this. I hear this phrase all the time. It's a great place to grow up, but...
Oh, that is the classic hometown sentence. It's a great place to grow up, but I wouldn't want to live there now.
Let's unpack that. What does that actually mean?
Usually, it means it is safe. It means there are good schools, big parks, and you can ride your bike in the street without getting hit by a car. It's perfect for a 7-year-old.
Right. It's family-friendly. But the flip side of safe and quiet is often boring.
Exactly. What is paradise for a parent is a prison for a teenager.
A prison. But it's true. When you hit 16 or 17, you don't care about safety. You want excitement. You want culture. You want things to do past 9 p.m.
So you might say, it was very safe, but there was absolutely nothing to do. Or it was a bit too quiet for me.
Another great word here is sheltered.
Sheltered. That means you were protected from the bad stuff in the world. But maybe you were also a bit naive because you never saw anything real.
Right. So that's the safety versus boredom trade-off. Now let's go back to that small town dynamic we touched on earlier, the community.
The sense of community. This is the biggest pro for small towns. You walk down the street and people wave at you. If you get sick, neighbors bring you soup. You feel like you belong.
That sounds wonderful. But the con, the negative side, is the lack of privacy.
The goldfish bowl effect.
Exactly. Living in a goldfish bowl. Everyone can see what you are doing. If you date someone new, the whole town discusses it. If you gain 5 pounds, the whole town notices.
That can feel suffocating.
Suffocating, like you can't breathe. That is a very strong word, but a lot of people feel that way about their hometowns. They feel like they are constantly being watched or judged.
So how do we put this into a balanced sentence? You could say,
So, Daniel, we've covered the geography, the vibe, and the love-hate relationship.
But there's one final layer to this conversation that I think is the most emotional of all.
And what is that?
Going back.
Ah, the return trip.
Yes, because unless you never left, your relationship with your hometown is defined by time. And when you go back after 5 or 10 years, usually one of two things happens. Either the town has changed completely, or you have.
That is profound. Let's start with the town changing, because this is happening everywhere right now. You go back to the street where you played football as a kid, and it's gone.
Exactly. A common phrase people use is, "It's not what it used to be."
It's not what it used to be. That usually implies it has gotten worse, or at least it has lost its character. Maybe there are new developments everywhere.
Right. Where there used to be a forest or a park, now there are high-rise apartments or a shopping mall. You might say it's unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable. That's a strong word. It means you literally cannot recognize it. I went back last year, and honestly, it was unrecognizable.
And often, this change comes in a specific form. We have a fancy sociological word for it, gentrification.
Ah, the G word, gentrification.
It's a big topic. Basically, it means a neighborhood that used to be cheap or working class starts getting popular. Wealthy people move in, property prices go up, and suddenly...
Suddenly, the old corner shop is a trendy organic cafe selling $8 lattes.
Exactly. And the old dive bar is now a luxury yoga studio.
It's tricky because on one hand, the town might look cleaner and safer. It's modernized. But on the other hand, the original locals get priced out.
Priced out. That means they can't afford to live there anymore. So if you say, "My hometown has become totally gentrified," you are describing a very specific vibe. It's fancier, but maybe a bit less authentic.
It's lost its soul. But Sophia, what about the opposite experience? What happens when you go back and the town hasn't changed at all?
That can be just as weird. You walk into your old school or your favorite restaurant, and it is exactly the same as it was in 1999.
It's like stepping into a time capsule.
It is. And at first, that feels comforting. It feels like nostalgia.
Nostalgia. That warm, fuzzy feeling when you think about the past.
We often say we are looking at the past through rose-tinted glasses.
Rose-tinted glasses. That means you only remember the good parts. You remember the sunny summers and the ice cream, but you forget the boredom and the rainy days.
Exactly. But here's the catch. Even if the town is the same, you are different. You have lived in other cities, you have met different people, and suddenly the town feels small.
Yes, that is the feeling of outgrowing your hometown.
I've outgrown it. It's like trying to put on a jacket that fits you when you were 10 years old. It's tight, it's uncomfortable.
You realize that the things that used to make you happy there aren't enough for you anymore. It's a bittersweet feeling. You love the place, but you know you can never really live there again.
You can't go home again. That's the famous saying. You can visit, but you can't go back to who you were.
So that leads to a very distinct emotion, homesickness.
Being homesick. That's when you are away and you desperately miss home. You miss the food, the smell of the air, your mom's cooking.
But I think sometimes we aren't homesick for the place. We are homesick for the time.
Wow, Daniel, that is deep.
Think about it. When you say, "I miss home," usually you mean, "I miss being young and having no bills to pay."
That is so true. You miss the simplicity. So when we talk about hometowns, we are really navigating this complex map of memory.
Precisely. So look at the vocabulary we have now for this change pillar. It's unrecognizable. It's become gentrified. I've outgrown it. I have a lot of nostalgia for it.
These are powerful phrases. They turn a geography lesson into a life story.
And that is the goal. We want you to be able to tell your story. Whether your hometown is a bustling metropolis or a sleepy village in the middle of nowhere, it's yours.
So we've built the 4 pillars: location, vibe, pros and cons, and changes. We've given you a mountain of vocabulary.
A mountain indeed. So before we ask you to climb that mountain, let's take a break at base camp and review the essential gear.
I love your metaphors today. Let's head to the language focus and recap the best expressions from this episode.
Okay, Daniel. That last section about nostalgia and outgrowing your home was surprisingly emotional. I think I need a moment to wipe a tear from my eye.
I know what you mean. We got deep there. It's easy to get lost in the memories, but we are here to teach English, not just to provide therapy.
True. We've thrown a huge amount of vocabulary at our listeners today. We went from geography to sociology to psychology. So let's take a deep breath, step back, and organize all these phrases into a clear toolkit.
A toolkit is exactly what you need. Let's break this down into 5 key categories. If you master these, you can describe any place on Earth. Let's start with Group 1, locating.
Right, the where is it category. We talked about how to help people find your town on a mental map. The most basic one is using the verb to be located. It is located in the north.
But remember, that's a bit formal. In conversation, we usually just say, it's in the north. If you want to be specific, use the anchor strategy. It's a stone's throw from...
Meaning it is very close. It's a stone's throw from London. And if you live on the edge of 2 regions or countries?
It borders them. It borders Germany, or it's a border town.
And for those of you who live far away from the big cities, in the quiet countryside?
You are in the middle of nowhere. Or if you want to make it sound cool and adventurous, you are off the beaten track.
I love off the beaten track. It sounds like a secret destination. Okay, moving to Group 2, the adjectives. This is how we paint the picture.
We had a lot of these. For the beautiful, old-fashioned small towns, we used quaint. But another great word is picturesque.
Picturesque. It literally means like a picture. It's perfect for postcards. It's a picturesque village in the mountains.
And for the big, energetic cities, we used bustling. But if the city is huge and spreads out in every direction, like Los Angeles, we call it sprawling.
Sprawling. That's a good one. It's a sprawling metropolis. It implies it takes forever to drive across it.
And for the places that have seen better days, maybe the factories closed down?
Run down, or gritty, or rough around the edges.
Perfect. Now let's talk about the people. Group 3, community.
If everyone knows everyone and people support each other, it is close-knit. It's a close-knit community.
But remember the downside. A close-knit community can be nosy. Everyone wants to know your business.
Now, what about the opposite? If you live in a big city with people from all over the world?
Then it is cosmopolitan.
Cosmopolitan. That's a sophisticated word. It means diverse, international, and usually modern. London is cosmopolitan. New York is cosmopolitan.
Exactly. Moving on to Group 4, the pros and cons structure. We need to be able to balance the good and the bad.
The magic sentence is, it's a great place to grow up, but...
But I wouldn't want to live there now. Or, but there are no opportunities.
We also contrasted safe with boring and affordable with isolated. It's all about the trade-off.
Lastly, let's look at Group 5, change and evolution, because towns don't stay the same.
If a town has new buildings, better roads, and better technology, we say it has been modernized.
Or expanded. The city has expanded rapidly. But sometimes modernization comes at a price. If a place becomes too popular or too expensive,
it has become gentrified. And when that happens, we often use the phrase, it has lost its charm.
It has lost its charm. That is a sad one. It means the unique character is gone. It just looks like everywhere else now.
And if you go back and it looks totally different?
It is unrecognizable.
And finally, that idiom we used for the energy of the city, if you miss the noise and the speed.
You miss the hustle and bustle.
I miss the hustle and bustle. That is a classic.
So there you have it. Locating, describing, community, balancing, and changing. That is a massive vocabulary list.
It really is. If you use these words, you won't just be answering, where are you from? You'll be telling a story about your life.
But knowing the words is only half the battle. You have to be able to say them comfortably. You have to get your tongue around words like picturesque and unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable is a tongue twister.
It is. So let's hit the gym. It's time for our guided practice.
Okay, listeners, we have analyzed the geography, we have categorized the vibes, and we have navigated the emotional roller coaster of nostalgia. But now we need to put it all to work.
That's right, it's gym time. We want to make sure that when someone actually asks you, where are you from, you don't freeze up. We want these sentences to flow out of you naturally.
So, we are going to do our standard 3-part workout. We'll start with imitation, move to a vocabulary challenge, and finish with your story.
Are you ready? Let's start with Section 1, repeat after us.
We're going to focus on those long, descriptive sentences. I want you to pay attention to the rhythm. Don't rush. Take a breath where we take a breath.
Sentence number 1. Let's practice using anchors to describe a location. It is a coastal town about an hour south of London, just a stone's throw from the beach.
That was a long one. Let's break it down. About an hour south of London. Try it again. It is a coastal town about an hour south of London, just a stone's throw from the beach.
Great. Now let's practice the pros and cons structure. Remember to stress the word but. It's a great place to grow up because it's so safe, but honestly, there is nothing to do.
Did you get the emotion right? You should sound happy in the first half and a little bored in the second half. One more time. It's a great place to grow up because it's so safe, but honestly, there is nothing to do.
Perfect. Sentence number 3. Let's practice talking about change. I went back last year, and it is completely unrecognizable because of all the new developments.
Watch that pronunciation. Unrecognizable. 5 syllables. Try it again. It is completely unrecognizable because of all the new developments.
Excellent work. Now, let's shake it out and move to section 2, fill in the blanks.
This is the vocabulary challenge. Daniel is going to describe a fictional town called Oakville. He will pause where an adjective should be. I want you to shout out the right word based on the context clues.
Okay, picture Oakville in your mind. Here we go. Oakville is a very old village. It has cobblestone streets, little cottages with flowers, and a beautiful old church. It is very...
Did you say quaint or maybe picturesque? Both work.
Oakville is everyone in Oakville knows everyone else. If you get sick, your neighbors bring you soup. It is a very...
That's a close-knit community.
However, because everyone knows you, you can't do anything without people talking. The neighbors are very...
They are nosy.
Recently, a big factory opened nearby. Now, the streets are full of people and cars, and it's very noisy. It used to be a sleepy village, but now it is...
It is bustling, or maybe crowded.
And sadly, because of all the traffic and the new buildings, many people say Oakville has...
Lost its charm.
Good job. If you got those right, you have really mastered the vibe vocabulary.
Now for the most important part. Section 3. Your turn.
We are going to ask you 3 questions about your real hometown. We want you to answer out loud using full sentences. Don't be shy. Nobody can hear you except us.
Question number 1. Where exactly is your hometown? Use an anchor city to explain it. Did you say it's about an hour from, or it's a stone's throw from? Good.
Question number 2. If you had to use 2 adjectives to describe the vibe, one positive and one negative, what would they be?
Interesting mix. Maybe scenic but isolated, or bustling but crowded?
Last question, and this is the deep one. Do you think your hometown has changed for the better or for the worse? Try to use the word modernized or gentrified if you can.
That is a great answer. It's really useful to be able to express that opinion clearly.
Fantastic work, everyone. You have officially graduated from "it's nice" to being a hometown expert.
But before we wrap up, we have to talk about something fun. We've talked about geography and feelings, but what about the silly stuff, the stereotypes, the local food that only you understand?
Oh, the local pride. Let's get into the culture and the fun side of where we come from.
So, Daniel, we've spent a lot of time analyzing the geography and the changing landscapes, but I feel like the real soul of a hometown isn't in the buildings. It's in the weird little things that only the locals understand.
The insider knowledge. I totally agree. And usually the number 1 topic for this is food.
Oh, absolutely. Every hometown has that one local delicacy that everyone who lives there loves, but outsiders are terrified of.
Yes, it's the acquired taste. I have a friend from a town in the north where they eat this specific type of black pudding pie for breakfast. To me, it looks questionable, but to him, it's the taste of childhood.
Exactly. In my hometown, we have a specific bakery that makes a pastry you can't get anywhere else. When I go back, I don't care about the museums or the parks. I go straight to that bakery. It's pure nostalgia eating.
And God forbid anyone tells you that pastry isn't good, because that brings us to the golden rule of hometowns.
The golden rule?
The rule is only I can make fun of my hometown.
That is so true. It's exactly like family. I can complain about my brother all day long, but if you say one bad word about him, we are going to have a problem.
It's the same with your town. You can spend 20 minutes telling me how boring, run down, and nosy your town is. But if I say, yeah, Sophia, your town sounds like a dump, you will immediately get defensive.
I would. I'd be like, excuse me? It has character. The people are real. You don't know anything. It's a very funny psychological switch. We are allowed to critique it because we are part of the tribe. You are an outsider.
So be careful when you are agreeing with someone's complaints. If they say their town is boring, just say, it sounds peaceful. Don't say, yeah, sounds terrible.
Good advice. But sometimes people judge us before we even speak, just because of where we are from. We have to talk about stereotypes.
Oh, the labels. This is huge. If you say you are from a big city like New York or London, people immediately assume you are rude, impatient, and obsessed with money.
And if you say you are from a small rural town, people assume you're a country bumpkin. They think you drive a tractor and you've never read a book.
Or that you don't have the internet? It's crazy how strong these stereotypes are.
And often it's tied to accents.
Definitely. In the UK especially, but also in the US, your accent is like a GPS tracker. As soon as you open your mouth, people think they know your background, your education, and your personality.
It's true. If you have a thick accent from a specific region, people might underestimate you, or they might find it charming. It depends.
But I think the best way to handle this is to own it. That's what local pride is about. It's about saying, yeah, we talk funny and we eat weird pies and our neighbors are nosy, but it's home.
Exactly. It's part of your charm. So don't try to hide where you're from. Lean into it. Tell people about the weird festivals and the local legends. That's what makes the conversation fun.
So we've covered the serious stuff, the emotional stuff, and the funny stuff. I think we have built a complete picture here.
I think so too. We have given our listeners a full map. Now let's bring it all together in a nice, neat package.
Let's summarize the strategy.
Daniel, we have traveled a long way today. From the stone's throw measurements to the gentrification debates, and even the questionable black pudding pies.
It has been a journey, but as always, we know our listeners like to walk away with a clear plan. If someone asks you, where are you from tomorrow, you don't want to panic.
Exactly. So can you give us the final cheat sheet? What is the perfect structure for this conversation?
Absolutely. Think of it as the 4D formula. If you follow these 4 steps, you will sound articulate and interesting every time.
Okay, step 1.
Step 1 is define. This is the geography. Don't just give a name. Use your anchors. Say, it's a coastal town about an hour south of big city, or it's a small village a stone's throw from the border.
Perfect. Put it on the map first. Step 2?
Step 2 is describe. This is the vibe. Use your specific adjectives. Is it bustling and vibrant, or is it quaint and sleepy? Give us the flavor immediately.
And then we get real.
Right. Step 3 is details. This is the pros and cons. Use the structure, it's a great place to grow up, but tell us about the community versus the privacy, or the safety versus the boredom.
That adds depth. And finally?
Step 4 is deepen. This is where you connect it to your life story. Talk about the changes. Has it been modernized? Is it unrecognizable? Or do you just feel nostalgic?
So define, describe, details, deepen.
That's it. If you hit those 4 points, you aren't just giving coordinates. You are sharing a piece of your identity.
And you will definitely never answer, it's nice, ever again.
That phrase is officially banned.
Well, talking about all this has made me feel a little bit homesick, I'm not going to lie. I might have to call my mom later and ask her what the gossip is in the neighborhood.
Do it. Find out what the nosy neighbors are up to. But before you go, we want to hear from you, our listeners.
Yes, we have a challenge for you today. In the comments below, we want you to introduce your hometown to us using the structure we just learned.
Don't just tell us the name. Tell us where is it anchored, what is the vibe, and what is one pro and one con.
For example, I'm from a coastal city in Brazil. It's vibrant and beautiful, but the traffic is crazy.
Exactly. We read every single comment, and we love seeing where our community comes from. It's amazing to see how international this family is.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep these conversations going.
And turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. We have some great topics coming up.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Whether you are a city mouse or a country mouse, be proud of your roots.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.